Utah biotech company implants brain chips in 50 people to cure depression, blindness, and paralysis. The chip, known as Neuroport Array, is manufactured by Blackrock Neurotech.
All right, so let's first just kind of initial run, exercise those brain muscles. We're not gonna use it for training, but keep following along.
All right. And I came across this program where your brain can interface with a computer.
All right, so what we have here is our view into James's brain. Each one of those neurons is telling us something about what James wants or experiences in the world. And we can use that to train statistical models and allow his brain activity to drive motion of the cursor.
I'm imagining following that cursor kind of like a PlayStation controller. So right now I'm just gonna do a simple blend of 3 different photos. We're gonna put her face in the background, get like a soft brush that allows me to fade and make my brush a little bigger.
Hey guys, you want to sign up for the new Blackrock brain chip? You want Blackrock to have a device implanted in your brain? Well, you can now if you live in Utah. Blackrock's device attaches to 96 arrays, small needle-shaped brain chips that decipher and stimulate electrical signals generated by somebody's thoughts. Recipients of the Neuroport Array chip are also able to control prosthetic limbs and wheelchairs, play video games, and feel sensations. The signals produced by the thoughts are decoded by machine learning software into digital commands used to control prosthetics and computer equipment. The implant can be placed anywhere on the surface of the brain. Multiple devices can be placed in the same person's brain, the Daily Mail reports. After implementation, the chip detects electric signals generated by the wearer's thoughts. Machine learning software decodes these into digital commands, such as cursor movements, which can then be used to control prosthetics and computer equipment. The first chip was implanted in a human's brain in 2004. Approximately 50 people since then have been implanted with Blackrock's brain device. Yet another situation where it's like, on one side, kind of cool. I mean, you know, if you're an amputee, if you've lost your arm or maybe were born without an arm or a leg, if you could have an arm that's mechanical but controlled by your brain, I think that's kind of cool. I think that's pretty cool. What it's going to be used for, however, will be brain surveillance, where they'll be able to track your brain waves in order to determine your thought process. So we're going to move beyond free speech. Free thought is going to be illegal in a very real way. And we go back.
First off, a video. It's going to make you see the future and understand a wonderful future where we can use brainwaves to fight crime, be more productive, and find love. Let's roll.
Sensing your joy, your playlist shifts to your favorite song, sending chills up your spine as the music begins to play. You glance at the program running in the background on your computer screen and notice a now familiar sight that appears whenever you're overloaded with pleasure. Your theta brainwave activity decreasing in the temporal regions of your brain. You mentally move the cursor to the left and scroll through your brain data over the past few hours. You can see your stress levels rising as the deadline to finish your memo approached, causing a peak in your beta brainwave activity right before an alert popped up, telling you to take a brain break. Your mind starts to wander to the new colleague on your team, whom you know you shouldn't be daydreaming about, given the policy against intra-office romance. But you can't help fantasizing just a little. But then you start to worry that your boss will notice your amorous feelings when she checks your brain activity and shift your attention back to the present. You breathe a sigh of relief when the email she sends you later that day congratulates you on your brain metrics from the past quarter, which have earned you another performance bonus. When you arrive at work the next day, a somber cloud has fallen over the office. Along with emails, text messages, and GPS location data, the government has subpoenaed employees' brainwave data from the past year. They have compelling evidence that one of your coworkers has committed massive wire fraud. Now, they're looking for his co-conspirators. You discover they are looking for synchronized brain activity between your coworker and the people he has been working with. While you know you're innocent of any crime, you've been secretly working with him on a new startup venture. Shaking, you remove your earbuds.
What do you think? Is it a future you're ready for? You may be surprised to learn that it's a future that has already arrived. Everything in that video that you just saw is based on technology that is already here today. Artificial intelligence has enabled advances in decoding brain activity in ways that we never before thought possible. After all, what you think, what you feel, it's all just data. Data that in large patterns can be decoded using artificial intelligence. We're not talking about implanted devices of the future. I'm talking about wearable devices that are like Fitbits for your brain. The newest way to monitor attention is through a device like this one. These are ear pods that are launching later this year. These ear pods, much like the video you watched earlier, are ear pods that can pick up brainwave activity and tell whether or not a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering. Okay, well, you might think, fine, but even if we can tell whether a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering, you can't tell what they're paying attention to. You would be wrong. It turns out that you can not only tell whether a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering, but you can discriminate between the kinds of things that they're paying attention to. Whether they're doing something like central tasks, like programming, peripheral tasks, like writing documentation, or unrelated tasks, like surfing social media or online browsing. When you combine brainwave activity together with other forms of software and surveillance technology, the power becomes quite precise. So what do we do with this? What do we do with technology that enables us to monitor brainwave activity for attention? Do we embrace it? Do we resist it? I believe that there is a pathway forward with such technology. We might soon even use the technology to help people wake back up. This is a haptic scarf that MIT Media Lab has developed, which uses brainwave technology in a responsive way to give a person a little buzz, literally, when their mind starts to wander, to help them refocus and hone their attention. I'm giving you the positive use cases because what I don't want the reaction to be is, let's ban this.
Go back to that same interview with Aldous Huxley and Mike Wallace, where he talks about this and says this will be used as a way to make people happy when they shouldn't be happy.
The dictatorship of the future, I think, will be very unlike the dictatorships which we've been familiar with in the immediate past. I mean, take another book prophesying the future, which was a very remarkable book, George Orwell's 1984. Well, this book was written at the height of the Stalinist regime and just after the Hitler regime. And there he foresaw a dictatorship using entirely the methods of terror, the methods of physical violence. Now, I think what is going to happen in the future is the dictators will find, as the old saying goes, that you can do everything with bayonets except sit on them. That if you want to preserve your power indefinitely, you have to get the consent of the ruled. And this they will do partly by drugs, as I foresaw in Brave New World, partly by these new techniques of propaganda. They will do it by bypassing the sort of rational side of man and appealing to his subconscious and his deeper emotions and his physiology even, and so making him actually love his slavery. I mean, I think this is the danger, that actually people may be in some ways happy under the new regime.
In other words, you're sitting there doing something utterly miserable that you should despise with every fiber of your being, but your brain is sending you hormones and electrical signals saying you're having a great time. You're having a blast. That's the next step of the brain interface.